Before I begin, I want to be clear about what this video is and what it isn't. The video discusses emails from the Epstein file releases that many people have found deeply disturbing. I'm not going to quote explicit language, I'm paraphrasing it, but I'm going to talk about why these emails feel so vile to read. If you want to read them yourselves, go into the video description and look at them yourselves. If you're not in the right headspace for that, it's okay to pause or step away at any point. When people talk about the Epstein files, the conversation usually goes straight to names, timelines, and crimes. But buried in this archive is another kind of material. Emails that don't shock because they prove something illegal, but because they reveal a way of thinking, a way of speaking about people that feels cold, careless, and deeply wrong. What stands out across these emails isn't drama, it's comfort. Comfort with language that strips away humanity. The first email is the one that most people react to immediately. It's informal, casual, written like someone thinking out loud, and that's exactly what makes it so disturbing. Human identity is reduced to physical traits, comparison, and speculation. People are spoken about as bodies to analyze, rank, and dissect, not as lives being lived. There's no empathy in the tone, no awareness of boundaries, just the sense that this kind of language is acceptable, even clever to them. What makes that email vile isn't simply ignorance, it's the ease, the confidence, the lack of hesitation. It reads like someone who never once stopped to consider that what they were saying might be harmful. The comfort with dehumanization is what causes such visceral reaction, everyone reading it. Reading it feels invasive, like being pulled into someone else's internal monologue, their dirty dreams without consent. That's why so many people describe feeling physically sick, not offended, not confused, sick. Because your body recognizes when something crosses a basic line even before your brain fully processes why. The second email hits hard it doesn't hit hard at first glance, but it doesn't offer relief. This one sounds professional. It discusses research, funding, and institutional work related to transgender healthcare. The language is polished, structured, and that polish is part of what makes it unsettling, to say the least. Everything is abstracted. People become outcomes, programs, and maybe opportunities. The human experience disappears completely out of the picture. Behind professional language, there's no explicit cruelty in this email, but there's distance. And distance matters in this case. When sensitive medical realities are discussed without grounding them in lived experiences, it becomes easier to forget that people are affected. The context of this archive is just vile. That emotional distance feels wrong. It suggests a mindset where impact is secondary to advancement. The third email, another email, continues this pattern in a different voice. It's conversational, almost casual. That's precisely the problem. Serious subjects are mentioned as if they are just another topic to bounce around. There's no gravity, no pause, no recognition. That these are not abstract ideas, but real lives. That casualness reveals how normalized this way of speaking has become with these people. When people talk lightly about sensitive topics, it doesn't mean the topics are light. It means the speaker has become disconnected from their weight. And that disconnect is disturbing in its own right. Then there is the email that reads like a pitch, a Kickstarter, let's say. A deeply personal medical subject is framed as a project, something to be promoted, funded, and showcased to the fundraisers. It's polite, it's professional, but it's transactional. The focus is on exposure and opportunity, not on people whose lives are shaped by these decisions. That framing turns something intimate into something marketable, like a plushie. And that shift should make us uncomfortable. What's unsettling isn't just the content, it's the confidence with which these framings are presented, as if this is a normal way to talk about people, as if no pause is needed. Finally, there's another message that might not shock someone skimming quickly or like flying over the pages, but when you place it alongside the others, it completes a pattern. once again, people are disgusted at the distance. Identity is treated as material, language is chosen for convenience or rather than care. By this point, it's clear this isn't a one-off lapse, it's consistent way of thinking. Across all these emails, the common thread isn't explicit language or shocking claims, it's the absence of humanity. One email is crude, one is academic, one is professional, and one is casual. But all of them talk about people without treating them like people. That's why the reaction to these emails has been so strong. People aren't misunderstanding them, they're recognizing something familiar and unsettling. A lack of empathy, a lack of restraint, a comfort with dehumanization. You don't need expertise to feel that. Your body reacts before your mind finishes forming the words for you. This is what people mean when they say these emails are vile. Not that they are sensational, but they normalize talking about human lives as a concept, projects, or curiosities. And once you notice that pattern, it's impossible to unsee it or unnotice it. It's important to say this clearly right now. Reacting strongly to these emails doesn't make you irrational, it makes you attentive. Discomfort isn't a flaw, it's understanding. It's a signal, it tells you something crossed the line that shouldn't have been crossed. These emails don't just reflect individual bad judgment, they reflect culture of detachment. A way of thinking where people become ideas first and humans second. That's what makes them worth examining, even without legal conclusions attached. There's a temptation to rush past this discomfort, to minimize it, to say, well, it's just words, but words shape how people are seen, they shape what becomes acceptable, they reveal how much empathy is present or missing. And here is what's missing is obvious. Sorry. None of these emails show curiosity grounded in care. None of them pause to acknowledge the weight of what is being discussed here. None of them center dignity. That absence speaks louder than any sentence ever could speak. If this feels heavy, that's okay. You're not meant to consume material like this easily. No one is. It should slow you down. It should make you uncomfortable. That discomfort is a reminder that something in you still recognizes the difference between analysis and objectification, between discussion and dehumanization. You don't have to sit in this feeling longer than you need to. It's okay to step away. It's okay to take a breathe. Awareness doesn't require self-punishment. What matters is that the language in these emails doesn't get the final word. The fact that so many people react with immediate revulsion tells us something important. There's still a shared sense of people deserve to be spoken about with care. That shared reaction matters. It's evidence that the line these emails crosses is real and wildly understood. If you felt unsettled by watching this, you're not alone. Let the weight settle in, then let it go. You don't need to carry it with you all the time. I wish you a good day.